my inner colors.
So hey guys, this is JP, not Morgan, and I want to talk about the worst advice that I've ever heard in my life. This is the worst advice that I've ever heard. The worst advice that I've ever hear people try to give to others, and that advice is to pursue your happiness, right? So do something that you're happy with. Pursue your happiness. Happiness this, happiness that. Everything is happiness. Follow your bliss. Follow your happiness, right? To me, that has to be the worst advice you can ever give somebody is to pursue your happiness. The reason for that is because happiness is an emotion. All emotions fluctuate, right? They're not constant, they're not consistent, number one, and they fluctuate, meaning that you have peaks, you have lows, or you have it in the middle, right? So there's no way that you can sustain happiness. It's just impossible, right? It's like kind of like winning the lottery, right? So if you win the lottery, you have a peak of emotion. But beyond that, like after a while, that peak of high happiness, right? That high emotion comes down. You're not gonna be happy consistently at a high peak, right? That doesn't happen. So they did a study, right? So they did a study that someone after you're making an average of $50,000 to $70,000, right? Between that range right there, doesn't matter if you make over six figures. Your happiness stays consistent. There's no change, right? According to the studies. So it's kind of, and also the thing about happiness is kind of like saying, it's like when people say that if it's not love, right? People say if it's not love, then it wasn't meant to work out. Love should keep a relationship together, right? Again, like happiness, love is also an emotion, right? A high emotion. So there's no way there's no rational, logical reason why you should think that the way you felt in your honeymoon, right? Or with your partners, the way that you're gonna feel for the next 30 years, right? That same high peak level that you felt during the honeymoon, you're gonna feel that for the next 30 years married. It doesn't work like that, right? So for a relationship to be sustained, you need to be good at communication and compromising, just to name a few things, right? That's gonna make the relationship or the marriage, right? Stay alive, right? And stay healthy, right? So getting back to the happiness portion, happiness is not what you should be seeking at all. Happiness, again, is just an emotion that fluctuates, right? So searching for happiness will actually make you extremely miserable once you can't sustain that happiness, right? What you should be searching for and what you should be going for, the aim shouldn't be happiness, but should be purpose, right? What's your purpose? Purpose is extremely more consistent than happiness will be, right? Than the emotion of happiness. The best example I can give is imagine being on a plane, right? And the plane crashes in the middle of the ocean. The plane crashes in the middle of the ocean, and then you happen to see land, right? You see land. The purpose is clear. Everything else becomes irrelevant, but the purpose is clear. The purpose is for you to save your life and to get to that island. Everything else becomes irrelevant, right? That makes a life worth living, right? When you have a purpose. But it's counterintuitive, right? Because if a lot of people say that they want purpose, well, purpose comes with responsibility, comes with submission. It comes with a sense of duty, of submission. Because in order to be successful, you have to submit to universal principles, right? People don't want that. That's why when I say that people don't want a purpose, it sounds counterintuitive because it is. People don't want what comes with having purpose, right? So I guess that, let me think about this. So for example, for me, right? Do you think that, like me, for example, am I happy? Was I happy running my Airbnb business? Like, what was I that wake up and say, oh, I'm so happy that I'm doing Airbnb business and learning it? No, it was a constant learning right in the beginning. Doing it because I needed to. I wasn't doing Airbnb because it made me happy. No, I was doing Airbnb when I started because I needed to keep a roof over my head and I needed to put food in my stomach because I couldn't afford food. I literally had to go to my mother's house to get food because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford rent. So that's why I did Airbnb. It wasn't a joyous occasion for me, right? Right? So people don't do things because they're happy. You're not gonna be happy while you're working, while you're pursuing your purpose, right? But the actual fact that you have a purpose makes everything worthwhile, makes the pursuit of your desired result, desired goal, worth it, right? So again, happiness itself is not what you should be seeking or not what you should be following or trying to gain, because again, it'll be fleeting. You're gonna live a very miserable life if all you want to do is be happy constantly, right? It's impossible to maintain that feeling, like any other feeling. It's impossible. The aim is to have purpose, to seek purpose, and to always. What's going to really bring joy to your life, and again, it's joy, right? Joy is what you want. Fulfillment is what you want. And what's going to bring that is having a standard, right? A high standard that you're always in pursuing of achieving, that you want to achieve that standard. That's what brings fulfillment and brings joy to our lives, which is a more better, right? Better to pursue than happiness, right? So that's all I have to say about that.